How the wind whistles and roars, how he blows and he blows. But what does he say at the doors? Nobody knows, nobody knows. The ground is covered with white, for it snows and it snows. But it falls so silent at night that nobody knows, nobody knows. Hello again, stranger. Welcome back to Mortar and Ivy as we discuss today my massive used book haul. Alright, so not too long ago, quite recently, I had been to two estate sales and two used book sales, including one that I actually helped organize with my society. And along the way with all these visits, I picked up a load of really nice books for dirt cheap. And it's all good stuff here. There is no trash. I mean, some of them you might consider trash, but I don't. And it's really only my personal value that counts. Not just in terms of this video, but in life generally. Alright, starting out with something that I picked up that really caught my eye, of which I just read a piece of right now. It's Little Folks' Fancies. This is a children's book of nursery rhymes from 1883, so it's all about 135 years old, and it is in really horrible condition. It has clearly been really loved throughout the generations. Hopefully, the binding's falling apart, a lot of the pages are torn. There's no missing pages, they're all there, surprisingly. And it's got some beautiful woodcut illustrations. It's got that perfect old book patina of yellowing on the pages where clearly fingerprints of children long since dead of their grubby little mitts all over it, and those oils and minerals and whatnot have since aged, and it's beautiful. It's just a really nice decorative piece, but it's also a great literary piece. I've actually read this with my son, and he totally approves. He's 7 years old. He likes the book. He loves the poetry in it. It's fun stuff. It's better than a lot of trash printed today. But that's a matter for another time. Also, I picked up a couple paperback. We got P.C. Copleston's Medieval Philosophy and Roland H. Bainton's The Medieval Church. Real small, real thin. They're like, I think they may have been free or like maybe 10 cents a piece or something. And really, I'm working on a paper right now about the medieval church and medieval philosophy and the Arabic/Islam influence upon which during the Renaissance and Reformation. And so I've been using these for my paper that I'm writing. It's a huge wallop of a research paper. Oh my God. I mean, what is sleep? But besides for practical use in school and whatnot, these do look like fun, quick reads. When you need that old dose of Inquisition and torture and heresy and all that fun stuff. Smile, God loves you. On the subject of the church, I also picked up a beautiful hardcover copy, gold embossed, of Lives of the Saints. I've always wanted a good copy of Lives of the Saints, and this one, it just stood out. It's got illustrations, small portraits on it. It was clearly well loved. There's something like 13 bookmarks in it, this being one of them. And one of the estate sales I went to belonged to a woman who is very Catholic. Her whole house was a shrine to the Catholicism. It was like someone had raided a cathedral and put all of its valuable relics in a cheap duplex. It was beautiful. God rest her soul. Now, I'm not a Catholic. I consider myself a Christian syncretist, but I really like this for the historical value. There's a lot of good history in the Lives of the Saints. And along the lines of literary history, what else did I pick up but Bill Bryson's Shakespeare, The World of State. I love Bill Bryson. I read up all of his books. I've read like 4 whole books by him. 4 whole books. And this one's super small, super quick read, and the dust jacket is on it upside down. What a fun discovery. Okay. I thought it might have been in a different language there for a second. Stupid. If you don't know Bill Bryson, he did A Walk in the Woods, and he did A Short History of Nearly Everything, and he did The Road to Little Dribbling and At Home. Those are the 4 books by him, of which I've read. He's written other books, and I will read those again today. In the meantime, downstairs, actually from the library, I have a fully illustrated version of this too, with all these pictures of Shakespeare. And spoiler, there are no actual pictures of Shakespeare. There was one drawing of which all portraits are based on. So we don't really know what he looks like. But, you know, for all intents and purposes, it looks like that. Okay, what else do we got? The Epic of Gilgamesh. Had to get that. No library is complete without the Epic of Gilgamesh. Will probably go right up here with the Age of Bede and the Ecclesiasticals, blah, 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 blah. It's, you know, Those old sagas and poetry from bygone age. In fact, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it soon, actually. I'm going to read it on the channel. Who wants me to read it on the channel? Leave a comment below or give it a thumbs up if you want me to read you the Epic of Gilgamesh in our Friday Nights Classic series. I'll do it totally ASMR. ASSMR, because I'm an ass. Switching gears here, science fiction. I think it's science fiction. I don't know what it is. It's Ray Bradbury, though. I love Ray Bradbury. I've read other books by him. I find him a master of horror above all things. But I know this is one of his more popular books. I have no idea what it's about. He's the master of miracles, fantasy, and terror, so it could fall into any of those categories. It's a short book, quick read, paperback, cheap as dirt, and I can't wait to read it. Go Ray. On the subject of another thing, recently picked up at an estate sale, I got an old copy of Little Men by Louisa May Alcott. I was hoping to read it this fall, but my fall reading list is so thick right now. I don't know if I'll get to it by the end of winter, even. But I read Little Women one autumn not too long ago, and that was amazing. I enjoyed it. I love Louisa May Alcott. Most people consider it books for little girls and not appropriate for a full-grown man, but you know, it's 2018. Grow up. Happy birthday, December 11th, 1934. To Anne, from your sister Mary. Oh, they're totally dead. They might not be dead. I don't know what birthday it was. Maybe it was her 10th birthday, maybe it was her 20th birthday, but it's a long time ago. To Freddie and Johnny, the little men. I don't know who Freddie is, but I like my shout out in that. When is this from? Is it from 1934? I don't see a date in it. Ooh, there's a little paper in here. What does this say? It's handwritten. We got some math scribblings. Health, pages 115 to 17. History, pages 294 to 296. Are these librarian notes? Oh man, let's investigate. You want to investigate? Let's investigate. Let's see what's 115 to 117. Did they mention health in here? I don't think it is. I think those notes applied to something else. She buried her doll and forgot it for a week. Found it mildewed when she dug it up. Big surprise there. Little Men. Beautiful copy. Beautiful hardcover copy. It's in an amazing condition. Like the dust jacket's pretty worn, but the book itself is, without a few, writings in it, out of an old proper inkwell, completely flawless. There isn't any foxing or bending or let alone tearing on any of the pages. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, if it didn't look old as dirt, you might assume it was printed last week. Maybe it's a forgery. Who would forge that, though? Get a life. Oh, now this one is gold. Look at this copy of Grimm's Fairy Tales. Look at that. Look at that. You ever watch those horror movies and there's a mad scientist or mad eccentric millionaire? Or it's always, crazy old people that old horror movies are based around, but there's always a stack of books on their study. And this looks straight out of a movie prop department. Those old classic horror films. Oh man, this is so beautiful. Oh, it smells like death. This is perfect. This is, oh my goodness, it's got everything. Beautiful illustrations. When was this printed? Oh, it looks like it was in a library once. The Public Library, Fort Dodge, Iowa. It's funny how these relics make their way, how they travel. Just by the font, I'd say the late 30s, maybe early 40s, but I could be wrong. But just look at that. Oh my God. That's, forget all those other booktubers who like to show off their newly printed books in nice stark white. This is the real deal right here. This is the good stuff. This is where it's at. This is character. This is flavor. That other stuff is junk. You're just paid to post that. You are paid to review those books and show off those nicely printed new mint books. Do they have value? Who knows? 50 years from now, no one's going to care about that. These, however, money. The money shot. Speaking of money, now, as you can see, my copy of Lord of the Rings has seen better days. I've lent this out to multiple people multiple times, and one of them treated it very poorly. Oh, cool, Magic the Gathering card. Cave Tiger. That's where I left off last time I tried to read it. But yeah, I'm gonna keep this forever. Sure, maybe even fix it up one of these days. But it's not in a readable condition. And I like to read The Lord of the Rings. It's one of my favorite books of all time. And I plan on rereading it soon, in fact. And so I had to get me a new copy. My gosh. And it's not a copy of the book itself. It's a copy of the trilogy as they were released separately. But they're really cool. Cool shape, cool condition. I really like the look of these. I love finding people's bookmarks in these pages. It's like, sometimes they're a portrait of a loved one or a postcard with some writing on it. And it's like, oh man, how are these people living without their precious keepsake? And this was a Michigan State football schedule from 2003, and I think they're doing all right without it. That's my own personal opinion. And I got the Fellowship right here, Towers right here, and Return of the King. All beautiful copies, all beautiful shape, paperback. I would feel not bad about dog-earing these pages, but I'll probably use a bookmark, like a civilized person. Speaking of Billy Boy Shakespeare, Billy Bob Thornton Shakespeare, we got The Tempest by the son of a bitch himself. And I haven't read this. I haven't seen it either. Somebody's here. Why is Ducky barking? Who's here? I'll go check it out. There wasn't anything out there. She was probably barking at the wind or some snow or a ghost or gravity. It's a firm fact that dogs are often alerted by some really spooky, mysterious things. If you don't believe me, Wikipedia that jazz. Comment below if Ducky should get her own channel. Should this face get its own YouTube channel? Alright, down with you. Almost home. Don't know what it's about, but it looks punk rock as heck. You leave that kitty alone. You leave him alone. Snowflower and the Secret Fan by Lisa C. As I've said before, I love Lisa C. Ducky, quiet. You be quiet. Hey, quiet. Good girl. As I was saying, I love Lisa C. I had reviewed Shanghai Girls before her, and I also have a copy of the sequel to that, but now I also have this. So I'm going to double up on the Lisa C. Put the link up there. I think that's how it goes. Antonia Fraser. Big fan of Antonia Fraser. I have these by Antonia Fraser right here, edited by her, I should say. But this year's Faith and Treason, all about the gunpowder plot. Oh man, I should have read this a few weeks ago during November 5th. Oh, talk about missed opportunity. Oh well, maybe I'll read it later, and I'll release the review video on it next November 5th of next year. Oh man, I hate making plans that far ahead. I never keep them. Big old pile of Bloody Mary. Bro, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, you could crush a small child with this. Oh, this is beautiful. Book all about Mary. So, you know, we've got the 15th, 16th, 17th centuries pretty well covered. Especially the 17th century. Especially the 16th century with all the Tudor stuff and Shakespeare stuff. It's perfect. Stuff I like, stuff I read. Check out my Goodreads, by the way. This whole year seems to have been dedicated to the Reformation Tudor era. When I get on a kick, I kick it, and I kick it hard. True North by Jim Harrison. Oh, I should read this fall. I really should. I love Jim Harrison. I just got done reading A Really Big Lunch by him, which was his first posthumous book, all about eating. This is one of his novels. I checked it out at a library once, but I never got around to reading it because life got in the way. That's what life does. Life's a bitch. I hate life. And on a pile of free books I found this year, The Varied Kitchens of India. I think it's a cookbook mostly. Yeah, it's a cookbook filled with Indian recipes. I love Indian recipes. I've been cooking Indian food and curries and whatnot for years. And this has some really beautiful recipes, and it's a really beautiful book. And I can't wait to eat my way through it. The Dream of the Earth by Thomas Berry, released courtesy of the Sierra Club Nature Natural Philosophy Library. This is all about the economics and spiritual issues around conservation and whatnot. It covers the fundamental question of how life can continue to evolve on this planet that we've so destroyed. I'm a big fan of the outdoors. I like going outdoors. I like keeping it clean and pristine. And I hate it when people ruin it for others. Let's stop damming the rivers. Rivers are for canoes and kayaks. I mean, it's not only a book about life, now we have a book about death. Ernest Hemingway, Death in the Afternoon. One of his books that I have not read. One of the few books I have not read by him. I, in fact, read 3 whole books by Ernest Hemingway. Another one of my favorite old authors. Pictures of bulls and bullfighting in there. They're black and white, but still pretty cool. When I first got this, I thought it was a first edition. I was, you know, because it just says the 1932 copyright in it, but I found out later it's like a 5th edition. And or a reprint of the first edition, something like that, in the 50s. It's a little upsetting, but whatever. It was 75 cents. And last but not least, I got some books on sporting, and they're really old magazines. And these are in awful condition. I got these for free. They were being thrown out. They're super vintage and super old, and again, tying with the outdoors, so I just couldn't resist. They were free. Come on. We got How to Tie Trout Ties. Or at least, yeah, a guide to trout. We have the Digest Book of Hunting Tips from MCMLXXIX. And what year was that? Which is 20, let's see, that's 50, 60, 79, 1979 it looks like. The Digest Book of Deer Hunting. Look at that cowboy fella. Look at him. Don't you want to, I want to be that guy. Do you want to be that guy? That guy's living life. Standing on a mountain with a rifle and a cowboy hat. Deer antlers on his back. Upland game hunting. And here we have the Digest Book of Duck and Goose Hunting. This one's a little bit newer. I think this is from the early 80s. The early 80s. A little bit of black mold, but, you know, I'm not here to breed them. I'm here to read them. Black mold. Isn't that a joke? Isn't it falafel? Yeah? He's not paying attention. So what do you think about my major used book haul? Like I said, all these books were used. Some of them very clearly. But altogether, I've got a total, I added it up, and my figures are very approximate. But I have about $343 worth of books here. You know, that's retail cover price that I spent a total of $22.33 on. Now that's a pretty good haul if you ask me. You can't pick that up at Barnes & Noble or Amazon or Oprah's Book Club or any of that jazz. Leave a comment below, leave a like, do what you want, I don't care. I've been Johnny. You're always welcome to my neck of the woods.